Welcome everyone to episode 132 of the Looks Like a Movie podcast. My name's Kevin. I'm here with Doug and Owen, and today we are talking about the new teen dystopian film, The Long Walk. But first, as always, we could talk about what we watched this past week. Owen, you look more prepared than Doug, so I'm gonna
Okay.
hand it over to you.
Um, yeah, I didn't watch too much, but I did watch Sorry Baby. I don't know if you guys heard of this
Yeah,
movie.
yeah, just one of the best
Had
movies of the year.
big Sundance movie. I remember that at the beginning of the year, it was like everyone was like losing their minds about Sorry Baby, and then
Name them. Name everybody.
everybody.
Yeah.
There's just too many. There's just too many names too. We have a schedule to be on top of, so I'll write them in the comments below. I'll write everybody's name. But yeah, that movie's really good. I wanted to see it in
Yep.
theaters. I didn't get a chance to see it because of all the things, but I really enjoyed that. It's one of my favorites of the year. Um, awesome cast. Really funny, really sad. Uh, so like a lot of reviews that are talking about the tone of the movie, which I think is valid. But I like the trailer. When I saw the trailers, I was like, okay, this looks like something that I might like. But then when I actually started watching the movie, I was pretty impressed with um, a lot of it. Just stuff that I wasn't expecting to kind of see in terms of even like little formal stuff. So really impressive debut. But yeah, that's all I watched this week. Really, other
Nice.
than the long walk. So
Doug,
yeah.
did you
I
watch more this
watched
week?
I watched even less.
Okay,
I watched How Green Was My Valley.
I saw that
Um
five
John
five bomb.
Ford. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
It,
that one.
it's it, I,
Well, I just know that more recently you got a bit strict about the movies that you give 5 stars to. So
yeah, I was trying to be just because
John
like you
Ford
get
doesn't
into
help that.
yeah,
exactly, right? Because I feel like you get into a position where, and I told Owen this like a million years ago, but you get into a position where you're like, man, I felt this way specifically with it was
really.
2046 really did this for me, where you get into a
Uh,
position where you really want to give a movie 6 stars. You're like, no, this is so good. This is so
Yeah.
good. And then you're like, oh, okay, well, we have to reevaluate everything here. Um,
yeah,
so that's what I kind of did. No, How Green Was My Valley is insane, so crazy. It's like we kind of lost everything in the world. Um, uh,
Yeah.
it's a movie about how like unions are sick, and it's like,
mhm.
um, have you seen it, Kevin?
I have not.
Have you seen it, Owen?
Yes.
Okay, okay, okay. So it's interesting. I think that the movie, it's like the cultural lasting power of the movie today is just like, oh, it's the movie that won Best Picture over Citizen Kane. I think that's
Fair
like,
enough.
I,
Fair
yeah,
Fair
I,
enough.
enough.
I will say like I think I do if I had to pick one. I do prefer Citizen Kane more probably,
Yeah,
but
and
it's
that's
it's
also one of
tough.
your favorite movies. No.
No, exactly. Yeah, I love. Well, it's not right here, but I have a whole Citizen Kane thing. Um, I I think that in the entire history of the Academy, I don't think there's ever been two movies that good nominated for Best Picture. Like it's just like it's like literally like two of the, well, at the time, in the 40s especially, at the time it was like just like the two greatest movies of all time. But
Yeah.
now it's just like, two of the 50 greatest movies of all time. It's like
Right.
American Hollywood films, two of like the 15 best American Hollywood movies of all time. It's ridiculous. It's
What
ridiculous. Yeah.
about Green Book and Bohemian Rhapsody? Same year.
Mm, mm. What about
It's
Crash?
funny too because that was kind of like the battle. Also, it's not like I'm just naming the two worst Best Picture nominees from that year. It's like Green Book won, and Bohemian Rhapsody was like
It won Best
almost
Editing.
there,
Yeah, it was like right there, right?
which is just kind of crazy.
No, that's ridiculous. Um, but yeah, no, How Green Was My Valley is unreal movie. And yeah, that's like the only movie I watched this week. I've been too busy, bro.
Yeah,
I'm an EP
yeah,
guy.
busy boy. I know. We've heard. We've been hearing. I watched more than one movie this week.
Wow.
I
Okay,
watched,
okay.
what did I watch? I watched Phoenix, the Christian Petzold movie, which I didn't know Doug had already seen. I, like, saw it was on your letterbox, and I was like, "Oh, I don't know that we've ever talked about this."
No, yeah, I
Um
watched that because I fell in love, in 20 in, like, early pandemic. I fell in love with this, Israeli person, and they told me that that was their favorite filmmaker, and then I watched
Okay.
Phoenix because of them. Yeah.
Okay, German filmmaker, by the way.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But just, um, he's good at making movies. I'm gonna be seeing one of his movies at New York Film Festival in a couple weeks, and I'm very excited. Phoenix was like that. I really like don't want to talk about the movie positively now that Doug just set me up like that because it's like, what am I? It's like because also the movie just has scenes where they're like where it's like right after the Holocaust, and she's like, we have to go establish a homeland in Palestine, and it's like, I just, you know what I mean? It's like it's kind of hard to be like, by the way, I love this movie. By the way, I thought this
It's
was
good,
great,
it's
really
really good.
emotional.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's like really fucking good. I just I don't I'm not gonna be able to sell a single listener on it now. But if you're you know
Dude said a German filmmaker, by the way.
I just wanted it to be clear it wasn't an Israeli filmmaker. Not that I anyway.
Um, yeah, let's talk about how Sean Baker follows IDF babes on Instagram.
Right. No, we'll have plenty of politics to talk about later. Let's anyway, the the movie's very good. It is like unbelievably sad. Like I like really struggled to watch it. And I was struggling to watch it, but then afterwards when I tried to explain the movie out loud, it like kind of hit me that the things that I was describing, like I couldn't even speak without crying about it, and I was like, this is too much for me. I was like, I need to but it really had an effect on me. And it's also just a great, and the performances are like unreal. But great movie that I would recommend. Then I watched Silent Hill, which I texted Doug
Yeah.
about because I mean both of you have seen it and both of you have told me to watch it, and it was
Sick
really
movie.
sick. Yeah, it was like I don't know what I was expecting. I didn't realize that like half of the movie would literally just like be a video game, which like is very cool, and I wish that that happened more often. Um, I thought that was neat. I imagine that probably bothers a lot of people, but I thought it was very cool.
Yeah, I don't
Uh,
know. What do nerds think about that movie? I know that people hate the second one, but I don't know, like,
I
do
don't know
nerds
what
like
like the average gamer thinks about the movie. I know that the general consensus on the movie is pretty mixed. Like a lot of people we know like it, and pretty much everybody
well,
else
yes.
doesn't. So, but but I don't know if gamers like particularly have a hatred for it or something. I'd imagine they like it, no, but like I don't
I don't
know.
know.
It's weird because it's like I feel like you play a video game, and then if you're gonna watch a movie adaptation, you want it to not feel like the video game, but we don't have enough movies that feel like video games. So,
Yeah. I
um,
wonder, better or worse adaptation than the Minecraft movie,
I'd say better. Um,
right? Probably.
Yeah.
I
Um,
don't.
no, but that movie
We're
so
getting
so
into
what
hot take territory though,
why did
so we might not
you
want to push the envelope too much.
Why did you, watch Silent Hill? Was part of I know you would've just wanted to watch a horror movie with your girlfriend, right? That's,
Yeah,
but did you land on Silent Hill maybe because, like, there's a new one, Return, is coming out soon with the same
that
director?
wasn't like
Or
totally. I put together a list of like horror movies or horror adjacent movies to watch leading up to Halloween, just like a spooky season list, and I forgot to put Silent Hill on it, but it was on like but I knew it was on my watch list, and when I went back through my watch list a second time, I was like, "Oh, I forgot about Silent," and I've been wanting to watch it for a couple years, and I was like, "This would be like we wanted to watch something that was like actually creepy," and a lot of the stuff on my watch list was like more fun horror or like silly stuff. So I was like, "Oh, I want to watch something that's actually creepy." And Silent Hill didn't particularly. scare
It's
me
kind of
all
an
that much.
action movie,
Yeah,
but it has
I kind of
incredible
had the
vibes.
wrong impression of how scary it would be because in my head, and especially when I used to see the poster of the movie when I was a kid, I was like, "Oh, this would really bother me." Like
Like the poster of the girl's face, like close
yeah,
up, yeah, that's
and
pretty
that
upsetting.
paired with, like, images I had seen of the movie from a kid and just from knowing the video games, it's like I knew about the video games as a kid, and so, like, just knowing the kind of stuff that's in it, I was like, "Oh, that movie's probably terrifying," and it's not very scary at all, but the vibes were great. It is, like,
Incredible vibes.
creepy
Yeah, like
and
sick aesthetic that
yeah,
yeah,
I can't really compare it to much. I mean, it's, like, one of the great yeah, like, aesthetic-wise, it's a very specific example. Um
when I was a kid, I had a similar experience where not with the movie specifically, but with like the Silent Hill as like a brand overall. Because I liked the Resident Evil games. Like I was a fan of the Resident Evil games as a kid, but I wasn't allowed to play Silent Hill. So like I just would see like the box art and I like would see like pictures of what's his name? Pyramid
Yeah.
Head. And I'm like, bro, this is probably the scariest shit in the whole
Yeah,
world.
well,
Like this
that same. I would see that picture and I'd be like, "This is, gonna really bother me." And then it's much more like you said, it's much more of an action movie than it
yeah.
is like a horror. There's not even really like I'm trying to think, but there's not even really like jump scares in it as much as it is just like atmospheric horror.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's still great. I mean, it was awesome. And then I rewatched The Master for the first time in like
The PTA.
gosh, I don't yeah, because I one battle after another is coming up and the hype is pretty strong and I like
Oh, I haven't heard about that.
right, okay. Thank you. And and most of the PTA movies, aside from the ones I haven't seen yet, I don't really have to rewatch, but The Master, it's probably been like 10 years, and I was watching a movie with a friend, and so I was thinking of options, and I was like, "Oh, he'd probably really like The Master," and, he really liked The Master, so glad that went well. The movie's great, no hot takes about The Master. And then last night I watched this movie Broken, which is like it's like a BBC film. It's more like a TV show almost, but like that's kind of how a lot of like BBC films are. But watched it specifically because Killian Murphy's in it,
Mm.
and it's one of those. But it's one of the better reviewed Killian Murphy movies, and it did weigh on me emotionally.
Are you
It's
excited for
very
Steve?
I am probably the only person alive who's excited for Steve, and that's actually why I watched this movie because
You're little Steve prep?
in this movie, Broken, Killian Murphy plays a teacher, and he's playing a teacher in Steve,
Wow.
so that's why I was like, "Oh, let me watch the other movie where he plays a teacher."
Yeah.
He's a pretty minor character in this movie, though. Like he's like the fourth lead, so it's not
When did it come
like
out?
2012.
Okay.
It's a little bit older. Yeah. It's like he's also like he does like random movies like this still. I mean, he's doing Steve
Yeah.
this year, it's like
Hey,
he
Steve's a
does
big
he
deal.
does plenty of movies that nobody watches, but they're like British or Irish productions that he just
Yeah.
like,
Steve's
he knows
Netflix, right?
the guy. I think so. I'm not
Yeah.
sure actually. It's not playing in any theaters near me, but
I think he just like he strikes me as a guy that likes to work with his dudes, you know? And one of his dudes just happens to be like one of the most significant filmmakers in the whole world, you
yeah,
know?
and then all the
It's
other
just like
guys are just like guys that he just like hangs out with
yeah,
back
yeah, you know?
home. They've made like 2 movies, and,
Yeah.
yeah, no, I mean, he's just like, I don't know. It's interesting because you know what I've been thinking about ever since I saw this other interview clip of Killian Murphy on this podcast the other day, and he's done this podcast like 4 times now, and everybody in the comments is kind of like the way the comments sound make it sound a lot like he's like the Nikola Jokic of acting, where they're all like all the
Oh, where they
comments are
like
like
he
this
hates
guy
acting.
yeah, they're like this guy like hates being in interviews, like this guy, like this guy can't
Yeah.
stand being here and whatever. And I'm like, I think they just like don't really understand his personality at all because he just like he's just like not an energetic like you know what I mean? It's like like the way that he's being interviewed. It's not like he hates being there. He just like I don't know. It's strange. The way people talk about him are like he's like super antisocial. I'm like, no, he seems like a pretty cool dude. Like I like he seems like a fun hang. I think people are just like being weird. Um. Anyway,
And this is a unbiased
Yeah, yeah,
perspective.
yeah.
no, but it's just like I just think people like don't I think people can't like read his personality. You know what I mean? Where they think like,
Yeah. Nobody just like people just don't get him like I do. Like I like just don't.
oh, it's not, oh my god, you're making it seem weird. It's not. I'm not being weird about it. It's just like
Like
he just seems like a he's
me
just
and
like a
Killian would
laid
just be
back
like
guy, and people are like he hates his job. Like
we
you
would
know
get
what I
along
mean? Like
so
that's.
well.
Can you stop? Do you not see what I'm saying though? You know what I mean? Like it's like he's just a laid back dude and people are being like, "Oh, this guy hates his fucking life, man." Like it's not that serious. Anyway, the movie was good. It made me cry a couple of times actually. Would recommend if you're into that kind of thing, if you're a Killian Murphy fan, I guess. Um and that's it. And then I watched The Long Walk, or I sort of watched The Long Walk, which we can talk about now. And one
Mhm.
of us sort of watched it even less. So
I
The
watched
Long
it,
Walk.
guys. I watched this
Yeah,
long
I
walk.
wouldn't watch all of The Long Walk. The Long Walk is directed by Francis Lawrence. It stars Cooper Hoffman and David Johnson, and it's a Stephen King adaptation. I to set
Yeah, set the stage.
the experience for all of us. I walked into the theater at 10:10 for a 10 o'clock showtime because I was under the impression, as is always the case, that my theater would be showing 30 minutes of trailers. Instead, when I walked in, we were already 5 minutes into the movie for some reason. I guess they skipped the trailers. I don't really know what inspired that, but I missed the first 5 minutes of the movie.
What inspired that?
Then I don't know who was like, hey guys, let's just maybe skip the trailers tonight. You know, um, it doesn't really help with my planning. But anyway, so I missed the first 5 minutes. Then I sat through the whole movie. Got I had to it took a minute to get into the flow because I missed the beginning and I don't like doing that. But then I finally got into the flow of the movie, watching the whole movie. At the very end, and I won't say exactly what the scene is until we get into like spoiler talk. But at the very end, and probably the biggest scene of the movie, uh, the lights in the theater start shining really bright, and I was like, "Is that part of the?" I was like, "Is this an immersive experience? Is this like a Dolby thing?"
Is this
Because
D-Box?
there's no sound. It was just like bright lights flashing, and I looked around at like all the other people in the row, and like nobody was like getting up yet because everybody was like, "What's going on?" And then after like a minute of bright lights flashing nonstop, people started to stand up and walk out, and I was like, "Okay, are we leaving?" And I'm like still trying to pay attention to the movie, but now it's impossible. And it's like the climax of the movie while this is happening, like the emotional climax of the movie. And so I start like walking out of the theater, and then not only until I get to like the exit of the theater do I hear on like the mic a voice being like, you know, like emergency evacuation, you have to leave the theater or
What
whatever.
happened?
So I still don't know. I'm so confused. I've tried to like look it up on Twitter and see if there was like some, because my theater's at a big mall, and so when the theater alarm goes off, it's like for the whole mall. Like this has happened before where like I've gone to a movie and then like they kick you out of the theater and it's like somebody set off the fire alarm or something somewhere else in the
Right,
mall.
right.
Um, so I'm like leaving, and people are like kind of like not everybody, but like certain groups of people are like rushing out of the mall, like in a way where I was like, this is weird. Like I was like, you guys
Yeah,
are
yeah,
like
yeah.
freaking out. Like, and then we when we were walking through the parking garage, there was like giant like streams of water leaking through the parking garage, and there was like a truck there, and I
Huh.
don't know if that was like a like part of like a
Connected or just as a separate
yeah, I have no idea.
unusual
I don't
event.
know if they were like doing maintenance on the side or if this is like a system that happens when the fire alarm goes off. I don't know. But anyway, I tried to like look up the mall on Twitter and see if people were talking about. Nobody ever posted anything. So I'm like, I don't really know
You had to check
what.
Blue Sky.
Yeah, maybe,
Yeah.
maybe. I was like, I don't know what the deal is, but anyway, I missed the last 5 minutes of the movie and the first 5 minutes of the movie. Doug, why don't you tell the people how much of the movie you missed?
Um, so, this is like a really notable Stephen King book, right? This is like is this like
Doug,
one of his
you
this is like
no.
one of his
Okay.
first,
Okay, I'll set the table
novels?
since Doug's scared to. Doug
Oh, no.
Doug went to this movie for an 11 p.m. showing. He watched approximately 5 to 10 minutes of
Yeah,
the movie
like
10
10
minutes
uh,
minutes,
pushing, yeah.
probably.
before falling asleep and missing the rest of the movie. But he's still blessing us with his presence today. So
I have
and I'm
lots of
sure he has
thoughts.
lots
I
of
have
yeah, I'm
lots of
sure he has
thoughts and
lots of
lots of things
opinions.
to add.
But maybe Owen and I will get the ball rolling since we saw either the whole movie or a majority of the movie. I wanted to start though with something that I guess Doug can respond to, which is this the teen dystopian young adult movie genre. Notably, this movie is directed by Francis Lawrence. He's directed four of the five Hunger Games movies and is on his way to directing the next Hunger Games movie.
It's funny,
Um,
people don't talk about Francis Lawrence. He's kind of like a legendary filmmaker, in
and
terms of like how
in a way,
significant his work is, right?
yeah,
Like
in a way, sure. It's like, I mean, that's a one of the major franchises of the last 30 years. Owen and Doug, both of you, what are I'm assuming you guys don't care much about these movies now, but the Hunger Games, Maze Runner, Divergent type movies, is that a thing that mattered to you at the time that they were coming out?
yeah, the books were. The movies weren't
Okay.
really, which is interesting, right? But the books were like when I was like the Hunger Games books when they were coming out, they were really big for me. And then I didn't read Divergent, but I did read Maze Runner, and Maze Runner was also really really big for me. I was like so into Maze Runner, like I was pretty young when they were coming out, like middle school probably, as like the books were coming out, and then I think it was the third book. One of the character dies like in the middle of the book, and I just like stopped reading it. So,
Oh no.
and I was like, "This is ridiculous." Not like ridiculous, but I was like, it was a very like fandom, like, "Oh, this is my favorite character, and you just killed him." So now I'm done with the books.
I mean,
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
done it
yeah.
before
Yeah, it was like
too.
3 books in, and I was like, whatever, like 12, 13, 14, like in there
Yeah.
somewhere, and I just like
I've done that a
dropped it.
lot with like TV shows or something. I'm like, when once my favorite character's gone, I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna watch four more seasons of this or something.
Right.
Um,
So
so that
yeah,
makes
so like the Hunger Games books and the Maze Runner books were really big for me. And then I never watched any of the Maze Runner movies, which I probably should because of the Zelda movies, right?
West Ball.
Coming out. Yeah, West Ball. But the and then the Hunger Games movies were big for me. I don't know anything about Divergent other than that the production of those was like a disaster. But it's interesting
yeah.
how that would you say it's apt to say that that genre hmm, that trend rather really got the ball rolling with the first Hunger Games book? Because this book, The Long Walk, came out in 1979.
Yeah, I mean, it depends if you include. I mean, if you include, it's not. The problem is it's not dystopian, but like Harry Potter probably really got the ball rolling in terms of like young adult movie adaptations, and
Right.
then Hunger Games is really the one I guess that got the ball rolling dystopia
The thing
wise.
is, like, are like the Harry Potter books, are they even really YA? They're kind of just like kids' books. At least like,
I
I don't know.
mean,
They're kind of just like
I don't
young.
know that
They're like
the
Y without the
audience
A.
I don't know that the audience for Harry Potter and Divergent is that different. You know?
Sure, sure, okay.
I
Yeah.
don't know that the overlap is probably pretty much the same in age. But yeah, I get what you mean, I guess. No, yeah, the Hunger Games is probably the big one. Oh, and were you a big Hunger Games person and or Divergent or Maze Runner?
No, I don't I don't really. I think I think I remember seeing the second Hunger Games in the theaters before I had seen the first one.
Oh, that's bizarre. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I think I saw it with my dad and he didn't know I don't know, we didn't know what was going on.
Right.
But that was like what first one came out in 2012.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
second one I think is
So like
2014,
You would have been like 4 years
13.
old?
and I think I seen the first Maze Runner, but I don't really remember
The
it.
movie?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the first
When did
movie,
that come out? Like 2016 probably?
Um, Good question.
Maze Runner, 2014.
2014. Okay. Yeah, all of
Oh,
these kind of
that's
that's the thing.
crazy,
So
actually. That's
yeah.
crazy.
All of
Um,
these movies did kind of come out at pretty much the same time. Like within years of each other. This is a real like 2010s trend cuz Divergent also comes out in 2014. And Hunger Games is just a few years before Divergent and Maze Runner. So this is like a real 2010s trend that has not like
That's
totally
weird.
carried
It
over since then. It's really just those three big franchises, I feel like,
it felt
unless I'm
like
forgetting something.
in my brain, it feels like Hunger Games came out like predates Maze Runner and Divergent by so much, by like a million years. That's weird. That's
Yeah.
bizarre.
No, it's not that significant. I yeah, I don't know. That's the other weird thing is that like I mean, unless I'm forgetting an example, I don't know if you guys have one, but I'm like, it was really just like three pretty huge franchises, and then kind of nothing since then. Um, so I don't. That's like confusing that it didn't carry on into
Well,
further
yeah, I
stuff.
guess like in
I guess a
terms
lot
of
of it has become TV is
Everything
the
is TV.
problem.
Everything is
Yeah.
TV.
yeah, things have, and also like the kind of books that do really well. They weren't as good as like the Hunger Games books, I guess. Like from a and then it kind of pivoted into now it feels like the niches are now either more fantasy, like Brandon Sanderson or like
Sure.
Red Rising, like that stuff that's really popular, or like more like woman focused, like young woman focused romance, like Colleen Hoover and Emily Henry and stuff like that,
Yeah.
right? If you
Those
like
are the
those are the
biggest.
big niches
Yeah.
now. Um
Yeah. You're right. That's true. Uh yeah, I was a big Hunger Games person, I guess. I watched the first Maze Runner and I didn't watch the others. I watched the first Divergent and I didn't watch. Actually, that's not true. I watched the second Maze Runner at home and I fell asleep. I remember this vividly because I watched it like with people and I just knocked out. But yeah, Hunger Games was always. I've seen the Hunger Games movies countless times. That was like
yeah, I
it felt like it was in a
same.
complete like level of its own compared to those other two. Like the Hunger Games was like such a big deal, and it felt
Well,
like the other two
Francis
just like
Lawrence is
you
like a
know.
good filmmaker and also and like
Sure.
but then Jennifer Lawrence is like,
Mm,
generational young movie star.
Yeah.
Um
two of them.
Just like changed lives in
yeah.
2012.
I've
Uh,
probably seen the first Hunger Games like maybe 100 times probably. It was just always on. My mom
yeah.
just always had it on. Like
No, I watched it. I mean, I watched all of them in theaters, and I'm gonna be honest. I probably watched some of them more than once in theaters. It was like, yeah, it was a big deal. We could talk about Francis Lawrence, but I wanted to ask about Stephen King adaptations as well. Is that where you know what are
Oh,
you guys? What are your
I actually
opinions?
I really like. I haven't read a lot of Stephen King stuff, but I like a lot of his adaptation, like movie adaptations, are some of my favorite movies. Um,
I really
I
like Stephen King. I have like a where are my books?
um, so like I'm always down. I know we all didn't really care for the monkey that came out recently, and that's more of an Osgood Perkins thing. But like I'm always down for a new Stephen King movie.
Yeah,
Yeah, and also The Monkey, like, I haven't read that, but that's just probably a miss for Stephen King too, because he has if you include his short story, it's like
Oh yeah,
500 story
yeah,
he has, like, so
yeah.
many.
but
He
I
probably
mean,
misses here and
I
there.
really
Yeah.
love Carrie. I mean, Christine is great. The Running Man's gonna come out. That's a new one that's
Yeah,
coming out. But I really do like that one with Arnold. The Mangler is great.
Oh, I forgot The Mangler's even Stephen King, that's crazy, yeah.
You know, there's a the Dead. Have you guys seen the Dead Zone? The David Cronenberg with Christopher
no,
No.
Walken. That one's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, there's you can go on and on and on. There's so many, but
Yeah, The
I think
Shining, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there's so many. I think there's a lot of cool stuff you can do with that world, and there's a lot of like it's a cool playground to play in as a filmmaker. So yeah, it's an easy thing to sell me. I think really is like okay, new. This isn't really a horror movie, but it's got like it's new Stephen King movie with some really awesome young actors. It's a pretty easy sell on that level, I think.
yeah. Okay, so with those two things out of the way, what did you guys think about the long walk?
What did we think about it?
Yeah,
Um, I liked it. I did like it. I wasn't like totally pumped about it. And I wasn't like, oh, I can't wait to see the long walk. Because Francis Lawrence is kind of like he's like a C tier filmmaker. I don't know. He's like totally
Yeah, no, he
acceptable,
is. Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
not someone that I'm like, I can't wait to see the new Francis Lawrence film.
He's the guy
But
that clocks into work and does his job.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I really do love Cooper Hoffman. And I was thinking about this earlier this morning, and when Licorice Pizza came out, it's kind of the whole like when you get your first job, you gotta wait to get your like. There's a time in because when you're working consistently and you're in the middle of your career, if you're like successful, you're kind of having things come out consistently because you do a project and then it wait a couple years happen, but then while you just keep going to your next project, so they have them lined up so they keep coming out. So like um now we're getting into that Cooper Hoffman thing where things are coming out because Licorice Pizza happened, and then it was like, okay, now he's getting new jobs, but we have to wait years for those things to come out. Now
Right.
we're in the period where he's gonna have this Poetic License is coming out. There's gonna be we're
Yeah,
gonna get a lot
Saturday
of
Night came out last year.
yeah. So
Yeah.
we're in that thing now where we're getting Cooper Hoffman, and it seems like he's not going anywhere, and we're gonna get a lot of Cooper Hoffman, which I am really excited for because I mean, we have the new PTA coming out, but I do love Licorice Pizza, and I think he's so good in that movie.
Same.
Um, and David Johnson is, I think, also really incredible. We didn't like Alien Romulus, or
Not
that
his
wasn't
fault.
our
Yeah,
favorite movie, but he's
not his
really
fault
good
at
in that. Like,
all.
he's really good.
Yeah.
He's really good and stuff that I've seen him in. So two great act. I mean, there's a lot of some other good performances in the movie too,
Yeah,
but
we could talk about
those
some of the other ones.
those two really make the movie for me. Um, I just think that really kinda carry it on their back, like, they're just
Yeah,
really incredible.
I would agree. That's mostly what I took away from there's some stuff that there's, like, other things here and there that I really sort of liked about this movie, but for the most part, I would say I'm somewhere in the middle on this movie. The thing that sold me was the Cooper Hoffman and David
Yeah.
Johnson performances. Just like it's almost like, and again, and I'm not even dissing the movie necessarily, but it just feels like they're so good already in so few projects that in my head it almost seems like why do they have to do this? And then I realize they've actually only been in like 3 movies, and this is
Yeah.
like a huge star vehicle for them. But it
Mhm.
just doesn't feel like
Oh,
that because in my head I'm like these guys are already stars.
I
But
forgot
this
Cooper
is,
Hoffman's gonna be in, Artificial, the Luca
he
movie.
will be an artificial. He's also going to be in the new Gregoraki
Yeah, yeah,
movie.
yeah. No,
So
I he's so
he's got things coming up, and David Johnson also is going to be booked and busy.
yeah.
And
Is
yeah,
Industry still going on, or
it
did that
is.
show end? Okay, okay.
Yes, it
And,
is.
he's still one of the main characters, or
I'm
uh,
only on season 2, but I
okay,
believe so.
okay.
I'm pretty sure. Somebody can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but yeah, no, but I just like, I mean, I've really liked David Johnson for a while now. And then yeah, and then I saw them in this movie, and I'm like, I mean, immediately if you replace them with like
Oh,
some
yeah.
random person, I'm like, this movie kind of just sucks. Like it's like,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's not
and
even like necessarily a fault on the movie. I'm just like, I mean, it's just a movie for the two of them. The whole movie is them
yeah,
walking and talking.
and
It's like
they're
you don't really
lovers.
have a movie without these guys.
Yeah, it's like Before Sunrise, just walking and talking.
Yeah,
Um,
I thought you were gonna say Jerry just
Yeah.
to like piss Owen off.
oh, Cherry.
No, well, I did. I was thinking now. I was like, this. If Gus Van Sant adapted this, like, this is like the perfect Stephen King movie for him, because it's all about like roads and walking and stuff.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, I that was stuff like I just thought there's so much of like the technical stuff that I just thought was like kind of bland and uninteresting, but nothing like offensive. It was just like, okay, it's like most like simple way to do this. Um,
yeah.
some really great clouds. But one thing that I did take away was it was kind of I don't know what I was expecting. It was kind of like more gruesome than I was expecting.
That's what I was gonna say next, which is
There's
like
like some stuff in it. I'm like, oh jeez.
I think the best part of this movie that is not Cooper Hoffman and David Johnson is the fact that the tone
It's kind
is
of
so
crazy.
much darker than what I expected, to the
Yeah.
point where like, and I was like, I saw a review this morning that said that compared it to Punishment Park, and I'm like,
Yeah.
kind of
Fair
kind of
enough.
not wrong, like you're kind of not off by saying that. It
It,
kind of is like a teen Punishment Park, which is like
the
crazy because Punishment Park is such a like grueling, like awful thing to watch, and I'm like, that
yeah.
is what this and even to the point where like I do think Francis Lawrence did it great with the Hunger Games, where it's like the tone of the Hunger Games is both like for teenagers, but then like would really affect the teenagers watching it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
no,
it
it's like
like
this is bad. This
and
is bad.
yeah, it's like this like really bad
This isn't
things
a
are
pro the
happening.
long walk
Yeah,
event movie. Like it's not like,
and
oh, we should do
Wait, maybe
this.
the long walk is a good idea. Wait, hold
Yeah,
on.
yeah. Or like the top review is like, "Please don't let Mr. Beast watch this movie," or
no,
something.
yeah,
Because,
but
like, yeah, this is like not it's bad. There's the
it's
first guy
violent.
who gets killed. I would, you're expecting because they shoot him right in the head, and you're expecting it to cut like in a way that doesn't. No, you just see his like whole
Yeah,
face. It's brutal.
it's pretty
And there's
intense.
some like really. there's like one where like the guy's like ankle, like he like
Yeah.
loses his whole
He's
like
walking on, like, his foot,
it's
his
so
foot is sideways,
it's
and he's
really
like
it's really fucked up.
yeah.
I'm
Particularly,
like, oh man.
I think what like, the tone really because that's the thing, it's like, it is violent, like, there is, like, more gore than I expected, but it's not, like, so violent.
Sure.
I think what it really nails is just that, like, you feel how bleak the tone is in, like, the emotional stuff, where there's, like, a scene and this is, to me, probably just my favorite scene in the whole movie, and now we're getting into spoiler territory, but,
Huh.
um warning.
Yeah.
But,
Warning.
there's a scene where one of their friends, who is, like, religious, like, takes his chain off, like, his cross, and gives it to them and is like, "Can you give this to my grandma?" And then right before he stops walking and gets killed, he's like, "Hey, do me a favor and, don't watch them shoot me." And I was, like, actually so bothered by this scene. I was like, this is actually so fucking sad. And I
Yeah.
couldn't believe because I didn't even like, I wasn't even, there were other emotional beats along the way that I was just like, eh. And then that happened. And I was just like,
No, it's
man,
like sad.
that
It's
I
like
was like,
really
that is like
sad.
so fucked up. Like it really like hurt me. Like I was
Yeah.
like, I like couldn't believe how effective that one scene was where I was like, oh, maybe this is actually like, like that was tough to
Mhm.
watch. Um,
Yeah.
so that's where
No,
I think it really nails it.
I the movie opens, and this is the part Kevin missed, but the movie opens with Cooper Hoffman like saying goodbye to his mom. And there's you see like the pimples on Cooper Hoffman's face and his neck. Like they're very noticeable. And it is like very clear from the jump of this movie that these are like babies. Like these are like kids. And it very much is like these are just some kids and they're in this fucking situation. And I really like there's a line, I forget, I think it's Cooper Hoffman who says it, and he's talking about how like, you know, it didn't really feel real. Or I didn't really like, or someone says something as well. Like there's like they were like expecting like the gun to have like those like the bang like the little like flag come out of it, and like
Yeah.
it
David
starts to
Johnson
they're
says
really
that.
yeah they're all talking about how like it wasn't gonna be they weren't really no one really expected it to be like this until you get there. You're like, oh, this is all and yeah, it really like hits that like they're just like these are just like kids and they're getting fucking murdered and
Yeah.
they're in this like and it just yeah, I don't know. I mean, Francis Lord's credit, like I think the movie does a really good job of making you like be like this is awful and this is really sad and I do care that these things are
Yeah.
happening. Um like it's these people are dying and only one of them cannot die, and they're like it's like you walk 300 miles and you're like losing your feet and you do all that just to get shot in the head.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like you put in like there's when the religious character dies, like you said that character, I think David Johnson like it's like is telling him like you did such a good job, like you really like he's like the fourth guy left, and he's like telling him like how much of a good job and how much he like achieved and how much he
Yeah.
got through this, but even though he achieved all that and he put in all that, he
Yeah, you
still
still gotta
gets
die.
shot. He
Yeah.
still dies, which is it's like that's like the sad part of it where you can, some guys die day one in like 30 miles in or whatever, but even the guy who makes it 300 miles in and is bleeding and all this thing like his body is like falling
Yeah.
apart basically still.
He's fucking shitting on the street.
Oh yeah, that
He's
stuff
like,
was
that
like
stuff is crazy. Doug,
oh man.
there are
Dude,
scenes that, like,
dude's
speaking of
pulling
the
their
tone,
pants down
there
like
are
shitting
scenes
on the
where people
street.
are, like, trying to walk and they have to stop and you, like, watch them shit in the middle of the street. And, like, you could tell, like, everybody, like, is,
Oh.
like, bothered by the smell and they're like, they're like pushing out poops and like
Mm.
trying to like catch up with everybody, and he like can't poop fast enough and he knows that there's like a gun to his head,
Yeah,
and
there's
it's
like
like
guys pooping with like guns to their head. It's so
it's like
crazy.
really tough to watch actually. I'm like, I can't believe like that
Oh,
I'm happy they put stuff like that in there. It's like pretty gross, but that
well,
is
I
like the
had the
reality of what this situation would look
yeah,
like.
I had the
Do we
experience where when I was watching the movie, I was like, "What if you had a shit?" And then immediately they would do that. Or I'd be like, "What if you like what if like, okay, you're in this like town. What if you ran away? Like, could you like immediately every time I would have a thought of like how I could like do
Yeah.
something,
Well, they do
immediately they
say in the
would do it,
beginning
and then they
when
would
they're, like, establishing the rules, something about, like, if you, like, leave the road, we'll
no,
shoot you right away.
I know that, but
You thought,
like
like, you could get away. You
yeah,
thought there would be, like, a
I want
path where it's
the
like, "Oh,
fact that, like,
I could."
maybe you could, like, because they're not, like, a there's not, like, an aimbot, like, drone
Right.
thing, or, like, there's not, like, a Suicide Squad, you leave and your
Yeah, it's
bomb
just,
goes
like,
off.
regular
It's just a guy
soldiers.
with a gun,
Yeah.
so, theoretically, like, there's a chance of escaping, but so, there's not every time someone
I
tries to do that,
especially felt that way about the idea of, like, someone stealing a gun, and that
yeah, that
happens in the
happened
movie
too,
as
that happened too.
well.
So, like,
There's actually a
all the
scene with
thoughts that
that
I
that I
had
was
in terms
like,
of that, like, it would just, like, immediately happen and, like, "Oh, okay, I guess not."
yeah, there's both a scene where someone steals a gun to kill themselves, but then also a scene where they, like, do it to
Yeah.
kill someone else, and I'm like, yeah, I don't like, all of it, I was just like, "Wow."
Oh,
Like, that kinda
I
stuff.
just thought of there's like there's like one of these like weird characters and he's talking shit to this other like loser character and he like swings and he misses and then he like
Oh,
hits
and he
the
lands on his
fucking
face and it,
and is
like,
like there's a
yeah,
whole gash on him and then he can't get up obviously so he gets fucking shot and you just like
yeah,
oh it yeah it's rough.
yeah.
How far do you think that you could walk at
I
3
was
miles
saving
per
this
hour
question for last. Without this is
stopping?
gonna be how
Well,
I wrote this down.
I
'Cause
had this
it's
thought when
only,
watching the
like,
movie
3
and
miles per hour, right? They can't go faster.
I was like,
Yeah,
did any how much training or like prep or like,
right.
Because
Because
exhaustion will catch up to you. Like, you can't like,
my
100 hours is crazy. Like,
no,
you
my
yeah, no, I know it's
understanding, and this is where I think that this is the only, like, unrealistic part of the movie, I think, is how many people make it a certain distance where in like, I personally think that if this were to happen with however big the group of people is, after, like, 25, 50 miles, like a lot of people would be dead. And in this movie, like there's still like 15 people at mile like 150. And I'm just like, by that point, I think there would be like two kids who are like unbelievably determined, just like battling it out for the last 100 miles. And I really think everybody else would probably just get killed way earlier than that. If I
yeah,
had to get, like, if you're just like, if it's just random teenagers, like, I
how
really don't think that
so
10 people would make it 200 miles. Like, that's
so,
crazy,
like,
you know?
150, how is that, like how many is that, like, 50 hours? Is that, like,
Yeah,
over
they're I
2
mean, they
days?
make it through, like,
so
so many
crazy,
days, I think.
so
What's the
crazy.
day that they're on by the end? It's, like, day 6 or something?
Well, because like, that's impossible, right? Um, but
Yeah.
it's like, I've walked 30 miles in a day before, it's
Yeah.
not that
Yeah,
it sucks, but it's not that crazy, you know?
But to be
Um,
doing it, like,
but it
in
is
the
like you had
conditions that they're doing it,
right.
and the
yeah,
problem is you can't drop below the speed because every time you drop below the speed, it's a warning.
yeah. See,
Right,
there's
So,
like,
like
you can't
like,
take breaks
yeah,
or
exactly. So you
of
can't
you
if
course.
you
can't
drop
tie
below
your
the
shoe,
yeah,
bro.
if you drop
It's
below the
not
speed to tie your shoe or to go to the bathroom or whatever, then, like, you're on your 1 warning, and then you're on your 2nd warning, and then if you
yeah,
catch up, you could only drop below it one more time before they shoot you, you know? So it's like, uh, yeah.
yeah.
I think there's too
It's
many
rough.
obstacles. Like,
I
it's not just
think,
like a
like,
normal.
I would be able to do, like, 40 or 50 probably,
Yeah,
barring,
I
like,
think
injury, like
also
spraining your calf or twisting your ankle or something, right, that you can't
right.
account for.
I think also accounting for the situation that they're in makes all of it a little bit more realistic because I do
Yeah.
really think, like, if there's a gun to my head and I'm dying, I could walk 100 miles. I would have, like, like,
Yeah.
I'd be
Well,
my body would be deteriorating, but the knowledge of, like, knowing that I'm dead if I don't would get me pretty
yeah,
far.
It would
that
become a mental
the
thing.
foot thing would be the thing that, like, that shit is so like, I was like, "Oof." But because Cooper Hoffman, like, and Dave Johnson, they really don't I mean, Cooper Hoffman loses his shoes, but in
Yeah.
terms of, like, the injury there's not a lot of injury on them, but, like, some of those guys are really, like, just in pain for a long period of it, so I was just thinking throughout the movie, I was like, I would 'cause I don't I was a little you only really see them when they get there, but I was thinking about, like, do you, like do like a test run beforehand? Like, can you like just start walking and see
I was
like
gonna say, like, do you train,
exactly that's
right?
what I'm saying. Where it's
Yeah,
because if you like do a test run and you like are like losing your foot at 50 or whatever, or even
Yeah.
not even losing your foot, but like, you're like okay at 50 miles I'm like cooked. Don't
yeah.
fucking but there I really like there's a
Yeah.
line in the movie
Well,
where they're
that's why I
talking
think
about
they didn't practice.
yeah.
Because
The
if
thing
they
is,
did, I
you
think they just
can't
would have been
test run
practicing.
not going to sleep though, because I think that's, like,
No,
the biggest
yeah.
hurdle, like, for me, it's like, I wanna be able to do 6 days is impossible, right? But it's
Yeah.
like,
They
that's even,
sleep
like,
while walking, by the way, in the movie.
physically that's
Yeah,
crazy.
I'm not kidding, they do.
Cooper
Like,
Hoffman wakes up and he's like, "What time is it?" He's just
yeah,
been
he'll like
walking.
there are scenes in the movie where he starts dreaming, like, while he's walking, and then somebody will wake him up, and
Um,
he's, like,
yeah.
sleepwalking.
Yeah, I would just get too eepy. I would get
Yeah.
too eepy, bro.
Yeah, we know I mean, you were too eepy to even watch the movie, so, you know? Never mind walking 50 miles. I mean, uh, yeah, no, I'd realistically put myself somewhere in between. Well, also
I think that 40 or 50 is, like, realistic for me
Not
right now.
300.
No, well, here's the thing, is it would be like I would if you could walk
300 is so
faster, I could
crazy.
do more. It's the but the pro like, you have to walk at, like, this
a
normal walking
consistent, like, 3
speed
You
for
can
the
miles
walk
entire
hour.
time.
faster,
You can, but it's not
but
gonna help you because
yeah,
other
you're
people who are walking slower will still be in the competition.
yeah, I mean, it's like you can walk faster, it's
It
just
doesn't
not
give you an
'cause
advantage to walk
there's like
slower.
a scene where they're like, let's shave like point 0.3 off so we can
Yeah, so they slow down. Yeah.
um but yeah, technically I mean it's very interesting too because there's always like there are gaps in where they are on the thing. So some of them are like ahead technically in terms of like distance. They're not like in a line the whole time.
Yeah, they're just
Um
walking, like, a little bit faster or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah. Uh, one other thing I wanted to mention that is like a thing I'm not happy to give credit to is like all of us on the podcast probably don't really care
Mhm.
much for this guy, but this is
Oh,
a
okay.
script written by JT
Oh,
Molnar.
yes, it is.
Yes.
Um, this script, I'm not gonna say it's necessarily good. I do think he's doing something difficult, which is like one, nailing this tone that we talked about, but two, and this is also compared to something like The Hunger Games, is like the ideas in a movie like this are very obvious. Like the themes of the movie
Mhm,
are super obvious. And in many ways, that is like the point because you're making a movie for teens. Um, but from our perspective, or just really any adult's perspective, I would hope, you really can't misinterpret what the movie is about. And the movie does tell you what it's about quite often. I do still think that it's a pretty good script because of the like narrative framework that he has to work with, which is just that like the whole movie is them walking and talking. So it's kind of hard to not talk about the long walk and like what it
yeah,
means, you know? So from that perspective, and it does really drive home the point that like, and that's the other thing is like a lot of it is, like I said, like really obvious stuff. But instead of like focusing on that too much, he does also focus a lot on like the friendship aspect of it and then like the camaraderie of it and stuff, which I think just like adds to it a little bit.
mhm,
So it's not my
yeah.
favorite thing in the world, but
Well, also,
I'm
I haven't
impressed.
read this story, so it's tough to tell, like, what is just Stephen
Yeah,
King
what is just
and
Stephen
what
King?
is
Sure, I'm not.
JT
We
Molnar.
don't want to give him too much credit, but
But no, I mean, I'll agree. I think I mean, it's a good script. It's,
yeah.
um, so he's doing. I don't know. I'm assuming he'll have some. He's producing that Texas
Well, we're gonna.
Chainsaw
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
Yeah,
whoa,
HBO
th is
whoa,
that
thing.
whoa,
yeah.
whoa! Hit the brakes on the news segment,
No,
guys.
but I mean,
This
it's a part of this. It's I
this
didn't
stuff
like
is gonna
Strange
come up
Darling, but
later.
he also is directing The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon, which is another Stephen King adaptation.
Okay.
So he's in his Stephen King thing here.
Yeah.
Um, we're not getting rid of him. He's gonna be around.
Yeah.
So
No, he's gonna be a busy boy.
Well, I mean, Strange Darling was, like, a whole thing, so,
Yeah.
yeah, he's yeah.
I wonder how much of like how much of the two lead characters being in love with each other is in the book, or is that JT Molnar's design? Um,
Yeah, Cooper Hoffman
it,
and David Johnson.
there's it's
It's
very
yeah, it's very like I don't know. It's weird. This is not related to that, but this is just another thing that I didn't realize until really I mean, I guess they explained this during the movie, but I really didn't notice it until after the movie, which is that like they are choosing to be there, and that is explained in the first 5 minutes that I missed, is that, like,
oh
Cooper
yeah,
Hoffman is, like, he's saying, like, he has to do it.
yeah.
I was kind of under the impression for most of the movie that they were selected, like, it was
Mm.
like a drafting process.
So I really
Um
love the line where they're like, "It's not a choice." Where,
Yeah,
they're like, "Do you know anyone who hasn't signed up for this?"
right.
Where it's like they give you they're like, "It is a choice. It's a lottery. You have to get picked, right? And you have to
Yeah,
apply." But everyone applies because life is so
which
shitty, and we
yeah,
have
that
to
is,
kill
like, the
ourselves.
capitalism
Yeah,
bad
and
side of it.
we have to try to get this money or die because there's
Right.
no other option, and we're already gonna die in this shithole anyway, so you might as well apply to do this horrible thing and die or make the money,
Yeah,
which
which
but yeah, they technically do
it's
have to apply and, like, sign up
and be
for
there.
it.
Yeah, they, like, sign up for it, which is weird because of that dialogue, like you mentioned, which is them being like, "I don't have a choice." It's like that when missing the beginning of the movie, that does confuse me because I'm like, "Oh, are they saying that, like, they just got picked to be there?" Because my understanding was that the Stephen King novel originally was also about that, like, about kids being drafted for
Mm,
war, and, like, that was, like, the inspiration for
yeah,
it. I don't know if I'm sure that in the novel, they probably also still make the choice, but I think that was, like, the thematic inspiration for it at
okay,
least, and
yeah.
it's, like, pretty obvious here because it's also, like, all men that are participating,
Yep,
and it is,
yeah, yeah.
like, and it is,
And
like,
the major.
obviously yeah, it's
Mark Hamill
military,
is
like,
so ridiculous in this
it
movie.
it's like a military setting, like, the military is involved,
Yeah.
obviously, so, like, I was under the impression that it was kind of like a drafting process, and so a lot of what I interpreted it as was, like, this, meditation on, like, the war and on, like, that
M
specifically, like,
Mark
young men having to
Hamill
go off to war.
actually would be so perfect in a fucking, like, Toby Hooper movie. I was just thinking,
Yeah.
it's like,
Did you
he's
like
Oh
him
so
in
yeah.
this
he
movie?
I was thinking about it because like, he's so ridiculous in this movie, but then I'm thinking about, like, The Mangler and, like, it's just very there's it is Stephen King. It's very Stephen King, and he's very over the top. It's not,
Yeah.
like, the greatest performance, but
He
I
does the
don't
same thing in The Life
yeah,
of
but
Chuck, by the way, which is
okay.
also,
Yeah, Stephen King. Mark Hamill
Stephen
just is in that he works in that kind of world. I don't like I'm not crazy about it, but it doesn't like ruin the movie or like really it's just like he's the major and it's like very
Yeah, it
it's
doesn't ruin the movie for me.
it is quite ridiculous.
I do think he sticks out in this movie as much as he does in The Life of Chuck from also
Well,
this year,
yeah,
where,
that's where
where he
I
shows up and you're like, "Oh, this is just not the like."
well that's what I'm saying with the Toby Hooper thing where I think like it's just he's in a different movie. Where I think, like, it's not objectively, like, really, really bad, but he's doing this, like, Stephen King, like, "I'm the major" thing, and
Right.
everybody else is doing, like,
Yeah.
"I am dying and I'm a kid." Like, it's, like,
Yeah.
really,
Yeah.
like, bleak, and he's, like, this, like, over the top, like,
Right.
pop pulp, like, novel character.
And there were,
Um
like, parts of that story that I was like, I'm not crazy about. I didn't hate the scene
where
with
he
Cooper
kills his
Hoffman's
dad.
dad. I didn't
Weird.
but it was a little bit weird. But then more
It's like, "This is very,
specifically,
like, 1984, you taught your kid books,
he
we shoot you in front of your kid," like, weird, like,
yeah,
okay.
it's like he's like, "My dad was, like, a radical, and they, like, murdered him," and it's like, "You know what? I'm like,
Wait, what are
yeah,
the he was like,
yeah, but
my dad was a radical, he taught me Mark Twain." That's what they fucking say in the movie. He, like, read me Mark Twain books.
But then the part that, like, kind of really where I was like, "Okay, this probably just didn't need to be in there," was, like, towards the end when the kid is like, "Yeah, and the general's my father. Like, that's why I know so much about the long walk,"
Weird
and I was like, "Why is that
weird,
in there?"
yeah, he was like, "We he has a ton of us. He fucking he gets around." Like, the major
Yeah, I
fucks.
was like, I don't
The
because it's
major
like
has so many kids, and I am in the long walk, and I am dying
it's
now.
strange because that makes it seem like it is like a local event, but then they also emphasize the fact that Cooper Hoffman is like the home state boy, and
Yeah,
everybody
well, that's the
else
thing.
like
It's like
traveled from around the country to
they
be
pick
there.
one person from like
So
each
so it's like, is there
like
this group of
areas.
people from all over the country being like, "Yeah, Mark Hamill's my dad," like, and they all, like, have meetings and stuff? Like, what like, it's just,
Yeah.
like, very I don't know, that whole thing didn't really make sense to me. I thought that was kinda
Well,
stupid.
yeah. Also, it's like the major like is he like the president? What is what it's like? Why
He's
is
the
it?
major.
Yeah.
No, I know,
Well,
but it's
there's
like
not
he's in charge of everything, and he
that's
like directly like kills Cooper Hoffman's dad. Like he,
Well,
yeah.
he's the major of, like, the secret police. It's not the real world. It's like he's
I know, but
Yeah,
it's just very. I
that's the
don't.
other thing is, like, there's not really a ton of
He's the
like,
major.
context for anything going on, which I think is fine. I think,
Fair,
obviously, like,
fair.
when you're trying to, like, apply a lot of these universal messages, it's probably easier if there is no context, um but yeah, there
um,
isn't really any of it in the movie.
this movie, The Long Walk, is adapted by, a book of the same name, uh, that came out in the '70s, late '70s. George A. Romero was
Mhm.
supposed to make an adaptation of this in the '80s.
Oh,
Um,
come on.
and then that didn't happen, obviously. But then
Yeah,
Frank Darabont in 2007
right.
bought the rights to the movie and was
Okay.
like, "I'm going to make this movie one day," and then, that also didn't happen.
That
Um,
also makes so much sense too.
yeah,
That's like
Yeah,
that would
yeah,
have
yeah.
been just like a obviously great movie.
yeah. It seemed like
Uh,
Frank Darabont was, like, a big fan of the book, but
yeah,
Another Stephen King
Stephen King
guy.
guy. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's many of them out there. There's plenty of 'em. That's why I texted Owen because I forget what we were even talking about, but Owen mentioned something about, uh oh, Douglas is barking up a storm over there. Uh, I mentioned Owen and I were texting off pod about, like, characters or something, and
Oh, yeah.
I was like, "Yeah, there are definitely characters in a Stephen King adaptation." Like, there's, like and I'm not even saying that as a negative necessarily, but, like, when you're watching a Stephen King adaptation, you're kinda just like, "This is a Stephen King adaptation."
Yeah.
Which is just a kinda crazy thing to think about for a guy that has, like, 600 books, but you
No,
just
but I
kinda
like
know.
it. It's there's a
Yeah.
level of, you know, he's making Stephen King books,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's his
Um,
thing, and it's like that's
yeah.
why, you get to that level of, like, worldwide,
Yeah, well, even like,
like cultural relevance
the
that
guy who's
people can
writing the
recognize
book, and
you.
he's got the glasses, and he's
Yeah.
it's a
No, yeah,
very
like, that's the most Stephen King character that's ever
super
like, that
pristine.
exact character has been recycled in, like, 40
Yeah.
other like,
And then
anytime Stephen
you have,
King
like, the
writes
fucking, like, jock guy, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's like
Anytime he writes about teenagers, it is the same group of teenagers, and he's like, "Which one's gonna be the main character this
Yeah,
time?"
yeah, yeah. No,
Which is fine, yeah,
I'm
like
down
you
with
said,
it.
I mean, it's even true of, like, filmmakers where it's like so many of, like,
Oh,
the
yeah.
most famous filmmakers are recognizable. It's like Stephen King's work is recognizable. Yeah, I don't that's all I really have to say about the movie. I don't know if you guys wanna add anything else?
Is
If I
Stephen King the most iconic, like, story maker alive? Is there
Oh,
anybody even
alive.
close?
Okay,
Because it's
I
like
thought you were
we
gonna
like
say ever. I was like, Shakespeare.
no, like Shakespeare, but, like, is there anybody that's alive
Shakespeare.
that's even close? Because, like, we like, all the stuff that we talked about, but all the stuff we didn't talk about, like, and movie-wise even, like, The Shawshank
Sure.
Redemption is a Stephen King
Yeah.
short story, you
Yeah.
know? Like, it's ridiculous. It
It
yeah, no,
movies
the
are, like, the
movies
most successful, those they made, like, $1 billion fucking
literally
dollars.
the most financially successful horror movies of all time. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's ridiculous. It's like
Yeah, I guess if it's just like,
And it's like this
mm,
is like what? It's like 50 years of fucking
if it was
Stephen
a
King
couple years
shit.
ago, I guess the other person you could say is like Stan Lee, if you count that for,
no, 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 no. Stanley,
but
like, he
Different,
created
it's
Spider-Man,
different.
but he didn't,
Yeah.
like, he didn't write any of the iconic Spider-Man stories, like
sure. Yeah, I don't know that there's anybody. I'm like trying to look at, let's see, 10 authors with the most book to movie adaptations. Number 10,
Stephen King has so many.
yeah, let's
So
see. Dean
yeah,
Koontz
yeah.
has 8. John Le Carre has 10.
It's not even
Ian
close. It's not even
McEwan
close.
has 10. Nicholas Sparks has 11. J.K.
Oh,
Rowling has
shout out.
11. Ian Fleming 14. John Grisham 15, Stephen
Ian
King
Fleming doesn't count
34.
also, that's just the James Bond guy, that doesn't count.
Okay, well this is a
Yeah.
fucking Collider
No,
article,
no, I
so
know,
take
I'm
that.
just like, yeah.
Stephen King 34, and then the last two who are dead are Agatha Christie 48 and William Shakespeare 1121.
Yeah, so, like, William Shakespeare, obviously, I guess, like, I really do think, like, out of anybody that's alive, it's Stephen King. It's crazy. And he's kicking it. He's tweeting and stuff still.
Oh yeah, he's
They're trying to
tweeting.
cancel him right now.
Are they?
What did he say? What's going on?
Oh, because he talked about the news.
Yeah, and they're
Yeah, we'll
Oh,
like,
get
really?
to that.
they're
We'll
We
get
haven't
to
talked
that in
about
a
that?
second.
they're trying to ban Stephen King books now.
Yeah.
Lindsay's trying to what?
It's not Gen Z, I'll tell you that.
Okay, let's make a seamless transition then to the news. We're gonna talk about apparently all kinds of news, but first, if you like listening to us talk about the long walk, you can like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. You can rate the episode on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You can follow us at all of the links in the description. Uh, do we want to talk about the obvious news, or are we just going to kind of like dance around it? We've already referenced it about 6 times,
I mean,
but
if you have a statement
um,
you wanna make, I mean, you can make a
okay,
This is
like
our platform, right? If we have a here's what
right,
what I'll say. It is I am shocked. I texted me and Kevin had like a conversation about this a little bit, but
yeah,
I'm shocked that it is such big news.
yeah.
That's like my biggest
I
reaction. Like,
That's partially my biggest reaction, and it goes with my other biggest reaction. And I'm gonna be very careful about my words because they are now, and not that this fucking matters to me at all because I'm already the most unemployable person alive, but they are now collecting a
for
database
the
of people who
screenwriter
are,
degree.
yeah,
Yeah, you're yeah,
collecting a
but I don't think
database of
it's
people
more
who
of
are.
tweets. I don't think you're gonna get this pod I mean, listen,
Sure, nobody's gonna
we could
clip
we'll
this and put
we'll
it on there, but this is why I avoided.
we'll
I was gonna post some very mean words on my Instagram story, and then I was like,
Yeah.
some of the people who follow me are gonna share these words, and they're gonna
I
be really
posted stuff
bothered
that's
by
like a
it.
little crazy and then I deleted it because I was like, I need
Yeah.
to be serious.
And
I
specifically,
was
I'm
just
not, and
liking things.
I
Yeah.
wanna I wanna be clear for listeners of the podcast. Specifically, what I was going to post mean words about was not mean words towards Charlie Kirk, though I don't have a ton of nice words to say about him. But and I texted, this is what Doug and I were texting about. One, it's like such big news. Two,
Yeah.
what bothers me is the amount of people who I know who are treating it as big news, who have overnight managed to grow a spine that they will shed in just as quick of time. I cannot believe the amount of people who got on the internet to post about how you're a sick person if you don't care about this, and you're evil if this doesn't bother you. The same
Yeah.
people who have been the quietest people on earth, as our country has subjected people to political violence, as there has been domestic political violence all over our country, and now all of a sudden a fucking white supremacist dies, and people are like, "You are sick and twisted and terrible." Grow up,
Yeah.
dude. You guys are babies. I'm sorry, but these people
Yes.
are some of the worst people among us, trying to act like they have some moral superiority over us because we don't feel as bad as they do. Where has this empathy been in your lives for the rest of your lives? I think it's fucking embarrassing. So that it has nothing to do with him dying or any of that, or like how bad I feel for his family. I think it is ridiculous that the outrage that people are displaying on the internet exists to this degree and has not existed anywhere else.
I had to do like cleanup work in my family. I was in the car with my sister the other day, and she was telling me about how like because she didn't know who he was before he
Yeah.
died. But then like on like she's on Facebook and she's seeing like all these posts about him.
Yeah.
And it's like all anybody's ever talking about everywhere, right? And she was saying like, oh, but like basically saying like people on Facebook are saying like, oh, he was a normal guy that just like
Well,
talked
like,
calmly about
or
his
it's painting him
Yeah,
opinions.
as, like, a
people love
moderate
to
Yes,
say that.
yeah,
It was the
and it's like
guy who was like
I
voicing his
had
opinion.
to explain to her that, like, he was not a normal guy. He
Yeah.
was,
Yeah.
like he was an extremist, and it was, like he said, like, insane like, he wanted to live in a world full of straight white people. Like he wanted to
Yeah.
eradicate trans ideology. He hated gay people. He constantly communicated like really hateful, harmful, like racist, anti-black rhetoric, right?
Yeah.
He had like no empathy for the immigrant experience. It's like really really bad guy. But what I think is interesting is like, also it's sad when murder is bad, whatever. What I think is
Yeah.
interesting is
Agreed.
it's conservatives that are shooting
Yeah.
people. I also had to say this where it's like people like when liberals are bitches, right? But even like leftists and stuff, right? It's like these people don't know how to like aren't like don't know how to shoot people. Like they don't have access to guns, let alone like the ability to
Yeah.
shoot them well. No, I'm so serious.
No, sure,
That's
yeah.
why it's like when the it's like that's why it's like people are so confused about like the ideology of like this guy and then
It's not confusing.
no, I don't think it is at
Yeah.
all. It's not about it's like people want it to be left a left and right thing so bad, and it's not. It's just
Yeah.
not. I really don't think it is at all. It's about like people's lives sucks. Like these young white guys, their life fucking sucks, and
Yeah.
they're like upset, you know.
Yeah.
And then they also
And
have like their brains are fucking
yeah,
broken,
their
right?
brains are
Yeah,
destroyed and they're being cornered into like some awful stuff via the internet. And it's like, and it's,
yeah.
yeah, but like time and time again, it's a lot of the same uh people doing. Yeah, I don't know. It's yeah. I agree with your point, which is like, and also even to that point, like another thing that I thought about was like this happened like 3 months ago to a Democratic politician
Yes, yeah,
at the hands of like another conservative gunman who like both her and her husband were murdered
And I
and
think
yeah.
like
dog.
leaving their two like and their dog, yeah, like leaving their two children behind, and then like was nowhere near the level of story that this has become. And again, it's like
Like
what I
less
mean,
than one
comparing it
percent.
is stupid, but
Like
like,
yeah.
but it's like, yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of, it's like a little bit crazy because it's like it's
Where's like
framed
Nancy
as,
Pelosi's, like, husband was, like, almost beat to death not that long ago
yeah,
too. It's like, yeah.
and that's what I mean. Like to your point about like it not being a left and right thing, it's like it is like weird that it's like it's really only conservatives who like display this outrage and like victimhood to this degree where they are like, now people are posting on the internet and they're like, they want to kill all of us for being Christians and like they want to kill all of us for our beliefs. And I'm like, they killed a Democratic politician 3 months ago and none of us were like, oh, they're gonna kill all the Democrats now. You know what I mean? It's like, I mean, you're acting ridiculous. So yeah,
No,
I don't know. That part of it is confusing as well.
I
Um,
talked to one of my best friends who is trans, which is also why, like, it's impossible to have any sympathy for Charlie Kirk,
yeah,
right,
yeah.
but, and I was, explaining to her not explaining, that sounds bad. I was talking to her about how, like, I think that, we live in like really vile political times in the US specifically, where it's like
Mhm.
MAGA is so like this era that we've been in for 10 years is so gross. Like on a world scale, it is like uniquely disgusting and insane that we've gotten here. And it's like so much stuff has been normalized. Where it's like
Yeah,
I think the internet is like accelerating things so much. The Epstein book stuff, which I don't want to get too into, it's like
sure.
literally like in the 2000s, that would have been the biggest news story in the history of the United States
Yeah.
Yeah,
in like
And now it's just
2004.
like a
Like,
weekend.
no,
yeah.
literally, it's like getting
And
brushed
you know
over.
what's crazy
Like,
about that too? I was thinking about this the other day because I actually brought this up to my therapist, which is weird, but I talked to my therapist about politics a lot because I just like complained to him about politics. I was like, the shocking thing is when that piece of news broke of like, oh, like um Trump's indicted and that like there's the we found this letter that Trump wrote, right? And it's like, and that would be huge news, of course. The other thing is like, and this is like a real like a bigger problem even, is that Trump and other like MAGA conservatives, they we are just like at a point where you can just like say and do things and half the country is just like cool with it, so we move on super easily, where it's like there was even a like on the subject of like him sending the like the National Guard into Chicago and whatever, like they were
going to
talking.
war with Chicago. What are we
Yeah,
talking about?
exactly.
Yeah.
Which like there was a court in LA that like ruled it unconstitutional if he does that in LA, And the thing is like that wouldn't stop the guy. You know what I mean? Like he can
Yeah,
just go do an illegal thing and be like, this isn't illegal. And then like half the country is gonna be like, you're right, it's not. And it's like,
yeah,
that is illegal, you know? Like it's like, and then the other thing, like on the subject of the Epstein thing, which makes it so crazy, is like, and maybe again, like I'm relatively a young person, so maybe I'm just misinterpreting this, but
That's
relatively
funny.
like
young person.
compared to like the people who would have known this like through lived experience. But is it not true that like 20 years ago or whatever, it was just public knowledge that Donald Trump and Epstein were like buds? Like that was like very common publicly known stuff that celebrities were friends with Epstein. Like that's not
Yeah, no,
like a thing that you have to
yeah.
uncover.
In
Like
like 20 years ago, it was Jeffrey Epstein was like he wasn't a celebrity, but he was a notable person because he
he
was
was a
friends.
notable, like,
Yeah.
adjacent to celebrity, like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
everybody
why he was
knew about this,
notable
and
because
now
yeah.
Donald Trump could just be like, "Yeah, I didn't really know the guy that well," and everybody else in the country is just like, "Yeah, no, we believe him." What do
Yeah.
you
No, there's
you
like
guys
there's
were alive when they were hanging out on TV.
on video, Jeffrey like there's like a video of like him saying that like Trump is like one of his closest friends, you know. It's
That's what I mean. I'm like, this is
yeah,
not like hidden
no,
information,
yeah.
and neither are, and that's just an example. Like this is like true of
Yeah.
99% of the things he says. That's like very public information. I'm like, I'm shocked that that is the point that we're at. And the same could be true of this Charlie Kirk story, where people can literally just be like, oh yeah, he was just a normal guy who debated people, and then like you go on the internet and you're like, oh, by
Yeah.
the way, he hated all of these people and like wished death upon them, and everybody's like, no, he didn't. It's like, what do you like? It's right there. There's videos of him doing it on YouTube.
Yeah, no, it is so like or have you seen the there's like a Candace Owens video um
Oh,
where it's
did you
like
see the thing that she posted on her Instagram story?
Yeah, yeah.
it's
I
so yeah.
I was going to talk about that because that is like one of those things where I'm like, and you said you have no sympathy for him, and agreed, but also like that's one of those things where for like half a moment, it like kind of the sympathy didn't break through, but the idea that like that could be a person who I should be sympathetic to broke through.
Right, like, oh,
Where
it's like
like
a real
seeing
person.
yeah, it's like I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie. The video she posted was a million times more emotional than the video that his own
His
wife
wife, yeah.
posted.
Yeah.
Um, she like and this is like a thing that like really like kind of struck me was like she is as opportunistic as it comes with this stuff, and
Actual
like
grift like,
rather
evil grifter.
yeah, like actual evil grifter. And she posted a video that was just literally like genuinely like this was my bud, and like and I like there was no
And I
like
believe her. I
grifting
believe
for
her.
yeah, and I
Yeah.
believe her. And there was no like grifting for political points. It was literally just a video of her being like, I'm sad that one of my best friends died. And that is like,
Yeah, well, it's
and
because these
again, these
people
are
don't
two of the
see these,
most
like, hateful politics as, like,
yeah,
mattering, you know?
but it
It's
but it
ridiculous.
does like kind of strike you specifically because of what you're saying about these shooters, which is that like like these are people who in like one different trajectory, it's like that's a person who just had a much better life and just like is a person who I'm supposed to feel sympathy for, and then they go down. And it's like the same is true of Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens, where it's like they're grifters. They are extremists, and they're comfortable like taking these opportunities and being the most evil people alive, but like they grifted their way towards that, and it's like, and like
Yeah.
seeing videos of them hanging out as friends, I'm like, these are just normal people. And like that sucks that they're like some of the most evil people alive. Like,
I think that, um, maybe the worst thing to come out of this is that so many more people are going to discover who Nick Fuentes is as a result of
yeah,
this.
oh
And
god,
I know and I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
not a like,
no,
I'm
that
so
is like a
serious
real
because,
problem.
like, Nick Fuentes is not a grifter.
Yeah.
Nick
No,
Fuentes does
is like
believe
positive.
everything that
Yeah,
he says and, like, does have, like, even more radical and extreme ideology than Charlie Kirk. And then even a
yeah,
step further is, like, Nick Fuentes is much more charismatic and a likable personality than Charlie Kirk ever was. So it's like young people, like young conservatives discovering like who wouldn't have discovered him otherwise because of this event is so
yeah, it's
just
like
like it's
terrifying.
like it could this could be a disaster. This could be so bad. This could be so bad.
Yeah,
You know? Um yeah.
yeah, it's scary to think about. um Anything else you guys want to say, or are you ready to move on to some
Let's talk about some news that
yeah, let's talk about some news that we would normally do on this podcast. Um, I want to start with TIFF announced their winners this morning. We're not going to go through all the awards or anything like that. I
What
just
won the
wanted
big
to
one?
name. Yeah, I just wanted to name the big one. So, big winner of the TIFF People's Choice Awards, with which to set up the last 12 of the last 15 TIFF People's Choice Awards winners got Best Picture nominations. Four of them won Best Picture, including Chloe Zhao's Nomadland. The winner is Hamnet, another Chloe Zhao movie. So
Yeah, Hamlet's winning Best Picture.
something to
I'm
keep in
locking it
mind.
in.
The runner up and the second runner up was Frankenstein, which I'm kind of shocked by, and the second runner up was Wake Up Dead Man, which a little bit more
Yay!
understandable. But
Yeah, that make Frankenstein. This is crazy because even
yeah,
like from where did it played at Venice is where it like premiered, right?
I think
It
so.
got like bizarre reactions out of Venice, and then
Yeah,
it played at TIFF, and it continued to get more bizarre reactions. So that's interesting that it almost won.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
they're
then
saying
the
it makes
other,
ass.
yeah, they're
Yeah, they
saying
are
it's not
saying,
great. They're
yeah.
saying it also like doesn't look good, which is the troubling
They're
part.
saying
And
it looks
even
like a
like my
Netflix
friends that have
movie.
seen
They're
it,
saying, well, they're saying Jacob
yeah.
Elordi, he's amazing. Everything else sucks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we all have a friend that at TIFF that watched
We
it,
all
and
have a
she was
friend.
like, "Yeah, it's bad." And then we have other friends that at TIFF that watched it, and they were like, "It's a mixed bag." So it's like nobody's coming out
and
being like,
nobody's
"Oh,
really
we're
liking
back,
it.
we
Yeah,
won,"
it's not
you
like
know?
Shape of Water 2.0. Like this is gonna win the Oscar.
Yeah.
This is not
Yeah.
that.
It's tough. And then the other award worth mentioning at TIFF is the International People's Choice Award, which went to No Other Choice.
Mm,
So that will, I think, be a big, in at least if not a Best Picture nominee, a big contender to win Best International Feature. The runner-up
hopefully.
was the runner-up was Sentimental Value, and Homebound was the second runner-up. But Homebound, I
What's
don't know much
Homebound?
about.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know much about that movie, but Sentimental Value and No Other Choice uh,
Oh yeah.
are yeah we're the top two for international. So that
Homebound.
we'll see what happens there. Um, Moving on to some other news, and not to get too political again, but this I learned some things that I was like I had enough time this morning where I was like, yeah, I'll read into some of these stories a little bit. So uh and then I don't think you guys are going to have opinions about the big part of this news, which is that Sean Astin has been elected SAG-AFTRA president. Again, don't know that you guys
Yeah, yeah, no. I
care
mean,
all that
Who is
much about
Sean
it.
he
Astin?
was who's uh so
So
Lord of the Rings?
Oh,
yes.
oh, yes, yes, okay, okay, okay.
You know who Sean
Yeah, he
Astin.
was in
Um,
he's been like in the running. He's been in the lead for a long time.
yeah.
So
So let
So is
me
he taking over for, the
Fran Drescher, yeah.
yeah, Fran Drescher, okay.
Um, but here's the thing that I did a little bit more of research on, which I thought was interesting. He won the vote with a 79% total versus the 21% against Chuck Slavin, I think is how you say his last name. That is an actor who you guys would not know. Get ready for this. Recently came under fire for controversial social media posts about ICE and undocumented
oh, I
immigrants,
know
as
who
well as
this is. I know who
conspiracy
this is.
theories about the COVID pandemic. I read some of these social media posts. I don't even want to repeat them on the podcast. This guy got 21% of the vote.
Wait, let me see. Because I'm pretty sure. Oh fuck, where is it? So there's
Actors do not have
Oh
normal
yeah.
brains.
Like I one of the posts specifically about undocumented immigrants was like so vile that I was like, I don't want to repeat this, but that is like
Yeah,
an
so
awful thing to say.
there's like this like big like New England filmmakers like Facebook group, and he like runs that. So
What?
like I
He
because
looks like he
he
looks
like
like chubbier Mel
he
Gibson.
promotes his like SAG like vote for me on there. And, like he's like the owner of this like big like there's like 20,000 people in it. It's like a Facebook like New York filmmaker New England filmmakers thing. Uh, but yeah, weird guy. Um,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
to say
like
the least.
weird
Um,
guy.
no, yeah, I don't like just to read some of like the tamer posts that he
Okay.
put up. One
oh,
of them
jeez.
says, "I'd like to see ICE get a lot of these deportations done by summer. There'll be a lot less burning of our cities by liberals that way."
Mm.
Um,
You want me to
that
read
is
some of
like,
his credits?
Yeah,
sure,
what
go
is he
for
in? Yeah.
Annabelle Hooper and the Ghost of Nantucket is a big one.
And
Uh,
wait, that's the full name? Annabelle Hooper and the Ghost of
it.
Nantucket?
Okay.
yeah, and then he's in Stiffs.
Oh, he's in
Okay.
Boston's Finest.
Then he's in The Family's Feud,
Okay.
and then The Rude, the Mad, and the Funny. Those are some of his credits.
Okay.
You ever seen
Um,
those movies?
Anyway, I just thought it was interesting because when I read those posts, and then I was like, this guy got 21% of the vote. Like, uh,
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot. I
yeah.
mean, social media campaigning,
Not
I
that I not
guess.
that I think
Yeah,
yeah,
campaigning.
not that
Like
I think much of like
he
Well, it's like
Hollywood
he's. I mean, we're talking about the
actors, but
president of the union. You don't have to be like
yeah, it's
sure,
not
yeah,
like you have
you
to
don't have
be
to
like
be.
the
You're
best
right.
actor in the world,
You're
but
right.
it seems like not a normal guy. Um,
Um, Anyway, that's that. Speaking of the news that Owen already spoiled, A24 is poised to land the film and TV rights to Texas Chainsaw Massacre. First up on the agenda for them would be a series from JT Molnar, Roy Lee, and Glenn Powell, who will not star, just produce.
yeah, just produced.
JT Molnar, we were just talking about. Roy Lee, the other producer, produced The Long Walk also, and a bunch of other stuff.
Isn't
Um,
A24 also developing Friday the 13th television series?
I thought that was HBO.
Oh, maybe that's HBO. Okay,
That
okay.
I
I don't know.
mm,
Maybe 24. Maybe it's
it
like an
might
A24
be
HBO
A24. It's
pairing?
what's her name
I don't
is playing his
I
mom.
know they're filming that in New Jersey. Like
What's
not
the
that far from me. That's like being
Linda
filmed currently.
Cardellini? Linda Cardellini is playing
Oh,
the mother of Jason in the TV show
okay, okay, okay. Uh, hmm.
Friday the 13th. Let me see.
So Friday the 13th makes sense to me, of course, because like the whole thing is like
It
Jason.
is
It's like
A24, by the way. Sorry, not to cut you off.
okay, no, yeah. So that's what I thought. But like, so like Jason is like this
It's
iconic
gonna be on
character.
Peacock.
Um.
Right.
Uh.
Wait, what?
But
Why is it on Peacock?
I don't even understand the Texas Chainsaw Massacre as like a franchise.
Like a TV show?
Yeah, what is this TV show going to
Yeah,
be?
Friday the 13th has more of like a thing that you could do with a TV
Well,
show, like
especially
the
if it like is
vibe and like
following
the
it's like a
setting.
prequel series following his mom.
Yeah,
Like
because like the Friday the
that's like a
13th has so much lore and like it doesn't
Yeah,
even like catch its stride until like 3 movies in. You know, it's like that like it's a whole it's very much and it's also trashy, right? So it's like it makes so
right.
much sense. To me, it's like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is like one movie and then he had to do a sequel that is kind of jolly and then like a bunch of nonsense. Not even saying that they're all bad, but it's just like a bunch of like stuff capitalizing off of the first movie's success, you know?
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
what is this TV show possibly going to be about? Is it
I
just like
Yeah, I don't
retelling the
know.
first movie? Like
Um yeah,
another
I don't know.
Leatherface
I'm
prequel? Like
I'm just confused about this whole thing.
also
I'm confused
Is
that
JT
that is
Mulder
like
not writing it? He's just producing it.
it doesn't really
It's like a
specify the
writer and an
role.
actor are producing it, but then the writer isn't
Yeah,
writing it and the actor isn't acting in it.
I think JT Molnar could possibly be writing it. It
Sure.
doesn't specify in what I was reading, but I'm sure that's a possibility. I guess Glenn Powell just wants to produce it.
it's like imagine if they were like the rights to Hereditary have been sold and it's going to be developed. You know what I mean? Like it's
Was
just like
Yeah,
like
Originally wasn't JT Mulner and Glenn Powell a separate entity from A24? Like, it was
I
A24 is trying to get
I
it,
think
these guys
that
are trying to get
could
it,
have been
and then
the case.
I feel like JT Mulner and Glenn Powell were originally just that was a thing, and then they teamed up like it was like they were
Yeah,
buying
probably.
the
That's
team.
probably how they got the winning bid off
Yeah,
also.
because A24
Um,
didn't have. I remember A24 didn't have any people connected to it. It was just like A24. So they're
right.
like,
yeah,
it was like okay. So they're like, oh, we will have you guys join us, and we'll get it. Cool.
right. Next piece of news. Dwayne Johnson is set to star in Benny Safdie's next film, Lizard Music, based on the Daniel Pinkwater novel.
As who?
Uh,
The Chicken
I
Man.
guess as the lizard, right?
The
Lizard
Chicken Man.
Man?
The Chicken
Chicken
Man.
Man?
Come
The
I,
on,
Chicken
I
Man.
Kevin. It's
I
the
don't know
Chicken
what this.
Man,
I don't.
bro.
I'm not familiar with the
He's
novel.
Dwayne. The Rock is set to star in Lizard People as the Chicken Man.
Lizard People is not the name of
What's
it.
it called? Lizard. What's it?
Lizard Music.
Lizard Music as the Chicken Man. The Rock is set to star in Lizard Music as the Chicken Man. That's a sick
Yeah.
ass headline.
Yeah, hell yeah,
Cool.
yeah. It's better
Apologies, I was
than
sneezing.
That's
Than
okay.
Jumanji 5. I'll tell you
Much better than Jumanji 5.
that.
I'm so fucking juiced and pumped for
The Smashing Machine.
the Smashing
Yeah, you
Machine.
drafted it on your team, right?
I did. Oh yeah,
Movie.
we're doing it's Vulture, the Vulture magazine listener. We should actually set up.
You guys want to? Oh, you want them to be able to?
Yeah,
Like a
wait.
looks like a
Like it
movie,
looks like
like
a movie league for the Vulture. Wait.
Yeah, not a bad idea if people want to join. I don't really like the idea of adding more people that could possibly beat me. I was already pissed off enough that Doug beat me by like a couple points last
Yeah,
year,
I
and I
literally
kind of
beat you
want to
by
be.
like 5 points
Yeah,
last
I
year.
know. I kind of want to come out on top this time, and I'm scared that our listeners are smarter than us when it comes to picking these movies, and a bunch of them are going to end up above us.
Yeah,
But
actually, I'll set this up. Join our Discord, and I will set up the details for the movie. It's fantasy. What it's called? Movie
Fantasy
fantasy.
Movie League or something. I don't
Yeah,
know
it's
exactly
it's
what it's
through
called.
Vulture, but we
If you
could
want,
join
we
our in the
could we
Discord.
could read our teams though while we're on it. If you guys are interested in sharing our teams, or do you not want to because other people are going to be submitting?
No, we can. I think we can.
but it's all it's like a separate league anyway, so we could just make different
Yeah,
teams
we could
for
just make different
looks like a
teams.
movie
Sure.
version.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
I might literally just make the same team to be honest, because I'm kind of a fan of the team that I picked, but I might make
um
some small changes.
so
Um,
the idea, listener, if you haven't heard of it, is like it's I just typed in the wrong thing.
yeah.
The idea is that you have to draft. You have like
Eight.
$100,
Yeah. You have $100 to pick 8 movies,
and
and
you're trying to
movies
get like
are valued at different prices.
and you're trying to get the most box office and award success. You're trying to balance it because like there's points
Metacritic
for how much
scores.
money your movie makes, and there's points for how many awards your movie gets.
Yes, and for critical reception, all three. It's three categories: critical reception, box office, and awards. It includes a long list of award shows. And box office movies only count for movies that haven't come out yet.
This is
Uh,
very nerdy. So, okay, I'll read my
uh,
team. These are the movies that I selected.
yeah, go for
If
it.
we this is so nerdy. This is so niche, like insanely niche. For these are movies that I selected. I selected Hamnet, The Smashing Machine, Avatar Fire and Ash, um,
Right.
Shelby Oaks, Sacrifice, Dead Man's Wire,
You got
Is This
Shelby
Thing
Oaks.
On, and The Running Man. Yeah, I
Yeah.
picked Shelby
Shelby
Oaks.
Oaks is not.
Doug's list in that middle area. I'm not
Shelby
crazy
Oaks is gonna make
about.
$7
Well, I
and be
spent
like
all of
a
my like, literally
50%
all of my
rating.
money on 4
No,
movies.
yeah, I
So,
also
like
spent a lot of my money up top, but I'm pretty happy with where I went with my smaller picks. I've got Hamnet, Sentimental Value, Avatar, Fire and Ash, The Running Man, No Other Choice, Sorry Baby, The Perfect Neighbor, and The Voice of Hindra Job.
Um,
I think is a good team.
yeah,
If I
shout
do say
out.
so myself.
yeah,
Um,
probably would
I,
not select Sacrifice if I was redoing this.
Yeah.
yes. Um,
You
I
have a chance to make up for
I
it with our
also
other one.
picked Avatar, Fire and Ash, and then I got Father, Mother, Sister, Brother, Sorry Baby, Hamnet, One Battle After Another, The Mastermind, The Testament of Anne Lee, and then Poetic License.
Yeah, I
Um,
might try and fit one battle after another
I
in
also
here.
was
I
thinking
mean,
that. I was like,
that movie just might win Best Picture. I don't.
if we're
Yeah,
gonna
the
do the
movie might
second
win 10
one,
Oscars.
yeah,
So,
because I like my team in terms of like trying to compete for the actual winning the whole thing, not just like our individual thing.
Yeah.
But just to get two chances at it, I might do another team with one battle after another to kind of like hedge my bets with this one.
Yeah, because when I was looking at it, I was like, Wicked is obviously too expensive, right? For how they have it. But then outside of that, I was like, I think that Hamnet and Avatar Fire and Ash are kind of like must buys for like
Yeah.
competitive in the point.
You
But
know
now I
what
think like
though?
maybe one battle after another might be a must buy too, actually. Like,
What if? No, that would be crazy. I guess I'm doing the math wrong. I'm like, what if you got Wicked and one battle after another?
that's like
But I
all of
think
your money.
Yeah, I think the problem with that, because I was like, what if you do that and then you can still get Hamnet or Sentimental Value? But then I think that adds up to $95. So you would have
Yeah,
to do
because it's like
five
it's like
$1
Wicked
movies.
was $45, and I think one battle after another is 30.
Yeah. Yeah, one battle after another being that expensive. It makes sense now that we know what we know, but I wish like they didn't know what they know and the price tag was a little bit lower. You know what I mean? Like I wish we were able to get it for like 25 or $20 because that would totally change how I make my team. Anyway, let's round out the rest of the news here. Um I don't think you guys care that Mamma Mia 3 is confirmed by Amanda
Mamma
Seyfried.
Let's
Mia. None of us are
go.
Tyler Whitmore.
Yeah, shout out Tyler Whitmore. I like the first Mamma
Shout
Mia.
out Tyler Whitmore.
I've still never watched the second one, but I hear it's good. Here's something you guys might care a little bit more about. Lucy Liu and Charles Melton will star in the film adaptation of Katie Kitamura's novel Audition from director Lulu Wang, best known for The Farewell. Uh, the thriller follows a famous actress whose upscale New York lifestyle is disrupted when a young man appears claiming to be her long lost son.
Cool.
Sounds pretty good.
No, Lucy
Um,
Liu is cool. She should be in more good stuff.
I mean,
And
she also just got, what was the other piece of news we had from the other day? She was casting something else recently, wasn't she? What was she cast in recently?
oh, don't ask me to recall things.
Yeah, sorry. I don't know. I swear we talked about her like literally 2 weeks ago on the podcast with something else, but maybe I'm wrong. Um, anyway, yeah, I like both of them. I like Lucy Liu. I like Charles Melton.
I like
Sounds
Charles Melton's jaw.
okay. Well, let's move on to the next piece of news. The only stuff we have left really is, and Owen, you could take your headphones off if you want. Just a couple pieces of TV news that I'm going to rattle through really quick. First of all, I just wanted to say safely, because Doug has been giving me shit about this for a while. Killian Murphy shuts down rumors that he will be playing Voldemort in the Harry Potter series. Uh, he said that he doesn't know anything. He said he doesn't know anything about it, and he said good luck to whoever is going to fill those shoes. So no Killian Murphy Voldemort. We don't have to worry about that.
Well, never say
Um,
never.
okay, I'm saying never. I don't
What
think
if
he's
they
doing it.
call bro,
What if
we're
they
gonna
call
call
him
him?
after that headline and are
Yeah,
like, "Hey, we want you to know about this"?
yeah,
But no,
and we're gonna pay you five
Because they
hundred
have not
million
announced it.
dollars.
I think they probably have cast somebody and have just not made it public.
Who do you
Yeah,
But
think they
anyway, the
cast?
other
It has to be a movie star.
Charles Melton.
Oh, what if it's Bill Skarsgård, bro?
that would be yeah. The
Mm.
reason why I included some of this other TV news though
Is
is
he
because it's like
British?
related to
You can do an
movies.
accent.
Um,
I
what?
guess.
No, keep
It's
going, Kevin. Keep going.
Uh, Mr. and Mrs. Smith season 2 has been delayed indefinitely with its future uncertain due to
Thank
cast issues. I
you.
think
Thank you.
this is important
Thank
because the
you.
people who were initially cast to play the two leads are Mark Edelstein and Sophie Thatcher, who
Whew.
probably will not be
Thank
making the
you.
show
No
now.
TV for those
I
Wait, can
guys.
she get
imagine
into
because they're going to be doing something else. So
Sophie Thatcher is like generational talent. And she needs to be in more stuff. That's good. Can we like she's gonna be
Oh,
in the we'll get her out of TV first off, but
no
she's gonna be in like
TV. The
the Nicholas
Refn.
Winding Refn thing, like his comeback, which is like in movie, which is gonna
That
be a
movie's
really
gonna
big
change
deal.
the world. It's gonna change
It
the
is
world.
gonna change the world probably. It is still so crazy that George didn't know who he was. I like can't get over that. It's so
okay,
crazy.
he's not like the most pop. Like he, first of all,
He directed Drive! He directed
yeah, I
that
know.
movie!
I know, but like
Hey man,
I
everybody
think
does
that could very
drive.
easily be one of those movies that you don't know the director of.
He was
Mm,
like he was Ryan Gosling's guy before Ryan Gosling sold out.
Yeah, this is
so-
true. Well, Ryan Gosling had a couple guys. He was juggling a couple guys at once.
Sure.
yeah, now he's juggling sacks of shit.
Yeah.
Fucking holy
Well, he's
moly.
shoveling sacks of cash. But yeah.
Anyway, Mark Edelstein, Sophie Thatcher probably will be
Charles Melton also in the
getting
Refn movie.
back to movies.
Oh shit,
Yeah,
yeah.
I literally said that a minute ago, and you guys ignored me.
Wow, wow.
So
Sorry, I'm just gonna say on top of the news here.
Oh.
last piece of TV news that has to do with movies. The Conjuring TV series is currently in development at HBO Max. I did not realize this. The new Conjuring movie, I guess I just wasn't paying attention, is doing so much better at the box office than I could have imagined. It is like on
It had
its
like the
way.
biggest opening weekend of any horror movie, right?
It
Like
had
Wait,
the biggest
Diego
global
Calva's in
box
this movie
office opening
too?
of any horror movie.
yeah,
It
that's
is currently
crazy.
like almost at $200 million globally in 10 days. Um,
Yeah.
kind of nuts.
The movie's good, but that doesn't matter for horror movies. The movie's good. But yeah, no, it's crushing so hard.
Yeah.
It's
And
I
so now
think
they're
that
making a
it's
TV show.
the moment they needed I'm gonna watch the TV show and I'm gonna hate it, but they needed it was like the moment needed to hit right because it is unfortunate that it's going to be the last one because The Conjuring is such a recognizable name where it's like, oh, it's a horror movie. New horror movie. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
but I saw it and like there were hella people in our theater when I saw it, and I saw kind of like a late showing. It's crazy. Also, I feel like um I guess it's like the whole thing with horror movies is that they just do well compared to their box office, but it feels like horror movies should be making it feels like the biggest opening weekend for a horror movie should be bigger than that. Am I crazy? Like,
Yeah, I mean, they just have such a, like, devoted group of people who are like, "I go to the movies to watch horror
Yeah.
movies,"
right.
in the same way that I not to the same degree, but in the same way that, like, Marvel fans might go to the movies or whatever. Like, people just love only going to the movies to see new horror movies, so it is kinda surprising, but I think that's also why certain movies do so well with word of mouth. Like, that's the reason why, like, a Sinners or Weapons or whatever will just, like, blow up because it could, be on track to make 100 million, and then all the horror people hear about it, and they're like, now all of a sudden it's making double that.
I don't know if they announced what the Conjuring TV series is about, but I have a strong feeling that it is going to be like the young adventures of Ed and Lorraine
Yeah, that's
because
possible.
you guys haven't seen this new Conjuring movie, but it opens up with young
With
versions
different,
of them.
yeah,
Yeah, it's like they
I remember you
recasted young
mentioning that.
versions of them for the first 10 minutes of the movie.
Yeah,
Um,
I guess I could see that.
Absolutely fantastic.
I know a lot of people are, like, still attached, like, James Wan is gonna be producing the show and stuff, I think, so it's like a lot
Yeah.
of the same Conjuring people will still be involved, I just don't know to what degree, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah, we'll
Uh,
see. Interesting.
Last thing isn't news, but I just thought I'd mention it. This is only for Doug. I wanted you to do an on the record prediction. The Emmys are tonight, speaking of TV. I want you to tell me who is going to win more Emmys tonight, The Pit or Severance?
Oh, The Pit.
Okay.
The Pit. Yeah.
I just
Andor's
wanted your
winning more than
prediction.
both of them.
Really?
Yeah, what are we doing next week, Kevin? Come on.
Next week we are talking about Him and A Big Bold Beautiful Journey.
Who?
Two movies next week. Episode 133. We will see
That'll be a
And
you
rough
Owen's so
week, bro.
excited.
That movie
Yeah,
looks
Owen's
so
so
bad.
excited.
Pow.
Fake ass
Bye.